Om, Namaste. Hello, everyone. My name is Brian, and I'll be leading tonight's deep relaxation class, facilitated by Buff, our host from the Eldersburg Library. A big shout out and thank you to the library, who's been one of my longest standing supporters and allies in this mission to provide free yoga to our community. And we're so glad you could join us tonight. If you're not joining us tonight, I'm sure you can pick this up recorded at a later time. If you're not already in a comfortable seat, whether that's sitting upright in a chair or adopting some cushions and meditation pillows to create a seat that works for your body, take your time to settle in, as over the next few minutes I want to share something that's really spoken to me. And this is coming out of a book called Back Care Basics, and this is by Mary Polig Schatz, who's a doctor, Dr. Schatz. And essentially, it's a doctor's gentle yoga program for neck pain and back pain relief. And it's a really awesome book. It's got great pictures, really awesome step-by-step instructions on how to get into the poses, but also gives you more subtle cues so you can get deeper into your practice and start to reclaim your optimal energy levels and what that looks like in your physical posture. So the part that I want to share to start, and this will be, again, sort of that intention point that we work in through class over our next hour or so together. This is about posture and our emotions, or that connection between the subtle things that we feel and our feelings, or maybe that connection even between our mind and bodies. And so I'll read directly from the book here now. Your mood dramatically affects your posture, and conversely, your posture affects your mood. Let's take a few moments for an experiment. I want you to remember the last time that you weren't feeling so hot, maybe even the last time you felt depressed. Now picture yourself going through your daily activities in that state. You remember your feelings of despair or hopelessness or defeat. What posture do you see associated with that in your mind's eye? Is your head bowed? Does your back feel rounded? Are your shoulders drooped as you carry this heavy thing around? Or are you literally holding your head in your hands? Now take some time to examine your actual posture right here, right now, in this moment. Has the very mere thought of recalling this past depression affected your current posture? Now we could really get into and divulge into how things around us that we see, how those things make us feel, and internally how we internally or how we internalize that rather, and how that comes through into our expression of posture. But I'll continue reading here in this next paragraph. So in that same vein of experimentation, now take yourself back to a period of excitement or of joy, a time of celebration. Picture the setting of this happy time. See yourself moving through your daily activities now in that spirit of joy. How is your face animated? Smiling? Is there laughter? Are your movements energetic? Does the posture that you remember from that period of excitement indicate open-heartedness? Now observe your own posture now. Does it somehow more closely reflect the posture of happiness or the posture of that past sorrow? Take a deep breath as you start to close your eyes and observe your posture now. Now that we've made that intellectual, that cognizant connection between our mind and body, between our mood and our posture. We've just observed that effect of mental state on posture. Now, we can also try the reverse, posture on mental state. If you assume a very lethargic, depressed posture for 3 to 5 minutes, and you move as little as possible, and you recreate this body language of lethargy, when the time is up, examine your thoughts and feelings. Have they been affected by your posture and movements? So you can, with awareness throughout class tonight, again, do the opposite. With that understanding that our body affects our minds, our posture can influence our mood, and vice versa. So many times our mood, the things we're internalizing, all of that intrapersonal stuff that we have to go through also comes through into our body language. So in class tonight, my intention is to, with that awareness of that symbiotic relationship, we want to use these yoga postures, and especially tonight's joint freeing series and some of the work we're going to do with our yoga strap or scarf or whatever. And we're going to very mindfully use posture to reinforce this idea of who we want to be. Who are you at a deep and soulful level? And mindfully, can you bring that to life so that your body language says, here I am, this is who I am, and here's how I feel. So we're going to continue to play with this experiment tonight of the effect of posture on mood and the effect of our emotion and our current thoughts and feelings on our posture. All right? So I want you to go ahead and just clear your space for a moment. We've already set the intention that this time is dedicated to our yoga practice. So without me talking for the next 30 seconds or so, shift your awareness to your breath and your posture and start to take some notes about the data that you can glean and collect from your current posture or current thoughts and feelings. Allow yourself to hold space for whatever it is that you might be carrying right now, whether that's heavy and dense or light and joyful. See if you can just very slowly start to put together those points of connection between mind and body. And see if you can start to identify where along your spine or where in your shoulders, or maybe it's in your face and jaw. You can start to make these micro shifts and come into that posture which you want to embody. Your heart open and your mind clear, mind supporting body, body supporting mind. I want you to inhale and bring your hands up and overhead. Take a deep breath in and just hold the hands overhead with the heart open. Let the shoulders relax back and down. Find that balance between ease and effort as you retract the scapula, the shoulder blades. And simultaneously, just let them relax. Arms are extended. What does this posture embody for you now? As you tilt your heart and your third eye to the sky, press your belly forward and maybe just cast your arms slightly back. And as you exhale, press your palms down towards the earth and tuck the chin in towards your chest. As you inhale again, let the hands reach back up and overhead. express that open-heartedness, willingness to receive, willingness to serve and give. And just through these very simple movements, see if you can shift the way that you're feeling. See if you can make that shift to come back into who you are. Casting away all of the stories that are no longer yours or not serving you. Releasing and casting away all of polarity and drama. Letting go of any worry or fear. Take a big breath in. Reach the hands up. Feel your heart open. Again, find that balance between ease and effort. Energetically press the palms away to the side and down to the floor. Back to the knees or lap. So our practice continues. Go ahead and come to sit now in Dadasana, stick pose. So we're going to come to sit on our mats, and I'm going to encourage you to sit with your legs out on the floor in front of you, whether that's carpeted or hardwood, doesn't matter. Your feet are just going to be able to move a little more easily on the carpet than getting bunched up on your non-slip or slip-resistant mat. And so I'm going to go through a time-tested series from the Yoga Therapy Center. This is going to be kind of the guiding point for our warm-up tonight. And this is called the Joint Freeing Series. If you find that you really like this, this is an awesome, very grounded series of movements that are going to help to retrain our bodies. And this is all about a blend of Alexander technique and Hatha Yoga, the Joint Freeing Series. Okay, so number one, we're going to start in this tall seat. All right, let me show you from the side for just a moment. All right, and again, posture is so critical. All right, as I sit up tall here, I want to observe, am I rounding? Did I collapse in the back? You know, what is this saying about how I feel right now, about myself or energetically? And I want to just really be mindful always, but in tonight's class especially, about this relationship between my posture and the way I'm going to feel as I move through these postures. All right, so we're all starting right here. This looks really simple, but it can be a challenge to sit up tall here. So if you need the support of some yoga blocks, you can take those blocks and bring them underneath the bend in the knees. All right. So posture, try and stay up nice and tall. Go ahead and just shift the hips side to side. And if you want to pay attention to my feet for a second, I'm just going to pick up one hip and draw it back. And you'll see this right foot shift back just a couple inches. So just a quick like that. And then other side like that. And so I'm just really using my hips and sitting bones to really kind of realign my lower back. It's also helping me to keep my core and lower back engaged to help support this tall seated posture. All right, so with our posture set, balance on the sitting bones, I'm gonna exhale and I'm gonna point the toes now, both feet together, point the toes and curl the toes in like fingers. If you're trying to grip a pencil. And as you inhale, flex the feet back and spread the toes wide. Exhale, point foot, curling the toes. Inhale, feet back towards you, toes spread. Go do that 8 more times with your breath. Do it roughly 8 times. Good. Just bring the feet back. Now go ahead and bring the feet close together now. All right. And inhale, soles of the feet out. All right. It's kind of tricky to do, and you might not really be able to move them out per se. Make your best effort. Inhale, soles of the feet out. Keep your feet upright. Exhale, soles of the feet face in. So it's almost like you're opening and closing a book. Inhaling, exhale. With your own breath, inhale, exhale. You want to continue to really deeply integrate this reminder of that effect on mind and body and vice versa. Take this time to connect with your feet and how special they are, the places that you can go, and the way that you travel. Literally every breath and movement can be a prayer to walk in gratitude, or a prayer of gratitude to be able to walk at all. Go ahead, loosen the feet up there. And we're going to start just circling both feet. This is an unrushed practice. This is like a very thorough maintenance for body and mind. Literally retraining our bodies and minds, reprogramming for peace, for gratitude, inner confidence, wisdom. You can try and keep the feet together and just windshield wiper them side to side. If you haven't already, make sure you move in both directions, clockwise and counterclockwise. And fall posture. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and draw the right leg in. And we're going to hold onto the shin. Again, make your best effort to stand up tall. You'll also find that if it's really tricky to be in here, you might like to hook the foot with your yoga strap or scarf / prop instead. All right, we're going to start working on the mobility of the knee joint and also starting to work on some flexibility of the hamstring, and still keeping with the intention of retraining posture and also retraining mind, or mood even more specific. So we're going to inhale, extend here, and then exhale, slowly draw back in, tap the heel or plant the foot. Now you can do this with hands to feet if you're feeling that warmed up, but this is still very early on in our practice. You might just like to hold onto the shin and extend just right here. It's totally fine. If it's too tricky to stay upright in this seated position, you could also come horizontal, like back down, chest face up, and you could do the same kind of thing from your back as well, okay? Do what you need to do for you. Make your best effort. We're going to do 10 of these on each side. So if you've already done 10 on one side, you can switch. I'm going to go ahead and switch to the other side. You've already switched and you're finished. You can do a couple more on each side or take a break. Breathing mindfully. Inhaling straight up, exhaling, bend and tap. All the while, core engaged, back engaged. Maintaining that nice tall posture. Inhaling, And exhale. Right, and once you're all finished, go ahead and release that leg, extend both legs long, place your strap, props to the side. We're gonna go ahead and just bring our feet a little bit wider now. We're gonna widen our gait here. You can bring your hands behind you, but again, be careful you're not slouching. You can just very lightly have your fingertips or palms connected to the floor, just to help support you staying upright here. And even almost lifting the chest and just leaning forward so that you're right over top of your tail. All right. So this time as you inhale, yep, out, little toe down. That's right. Okay. So we're going to start with inhale. We're going to go big toe down and across. Doesn't matter. We're going to do both sides. I'm going to start on my right foot. So big toe down, inhale across, and then exhale, leg opens and out to the side, pinky toe down. Okay. And again, inside edge of the foot down, glides across, and then exhale, outside edge of the foot. And this is all about working through our hips, all in here. All right, nurturing the hips. Every breath and movement be a conscious act of self-love. Prepare to switch. If you want to just pause a moment before you begin the movement, just examine what's going on in the hips. Examine how the knees, ankles feel. And when you're ready, begin. One more time, opening. Go ahead and just bring the legs in. We're going to come up onto our hands and knees now. We're going to move through some cat and cow and tabletop movements just to continue warming up the spine here. We've already warmed up the ankles and knees and hamstrings and hips. And now we're going to keep on with some interpretive movement, making our way through that cat and cow series. So as you inhale, you can tilt the tailbone away, lift the chest. Really feel that stretch across the front of the body. Exhale, chin tucks in, spine rounds. Rest the floor away. Good. few more rounds of breath, exploring that tabletop position. Some variations therein. Right. Now we're going to go ahead and just come forward on your mat a few inches. You've got enough room to extend your leg out behind. We're going to start with our left leg here. Extend that left leg. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, draw left knee up and towards the chest and round through the spine. Inhale, stretch the leg. Exhale, knee to the and last one. Exhale. Switch. Inhale, extend. Right leg this time. Shoulders level, back straight and long. Big breath in. Exhale, knee to chest. Last one, big breath in. And exhale, hold. Curl the belly up and in. And inhale, lower both knees down. If you need to come up off the wrist a second, you can interlace hands and gently roll out the wrists. Also, you could rest in child's pose if that is where you feel called to be now. So you can continue with some wrist movements when you're ready to come up from child's pose or out of table or wherever you're at now. Get into a couple more wrist mobility practices, and then we'll get into our shoulders and neck. All right. This is a good one. So we're going to inhale. Yep, hands down, fingers curl in. I'm actually going to bring my seat back in. If you need to come back to a chair or something, or to your meditation cushion, that's fine. So we're going to be seated for these next couple wrist movements. If you wanted to stand instead, that would be fine. We are going to come back to sitting to finish this series. So I'm going to inhale, curls, fingers curl in, curling the fingers in, and then exhale, fingers up and spread. So inhale, curl in, almost like praying mantis hands, and exhale, fingers spread wide. Inhale together and in. Exhale, expand. Curl those fingers in almost all the way to your wrist for a nice deep stretch. Really some blood flowing through the wrist. A lot of joints in the fingers and wrist. Good. All right. Again, come back to that circular movement. This time, go ahead and just interlace your fingers in a way that might not be intuitive for you. So I almost always start with my right hand on top. I'm just going to switch now so that my left hand's on top, and I'm going to continue with those wrist circles. Sitting up or standing nice and tall. This one's pretty simple too. It just is palms up. Inhale, you can have your palms out here with the wrists together. Exhale, you're gonna roll the inside edge up until the pinkies, ring finger, middle finger touch. And then you're gonna come back out. Inhaling, I'll show you down here. Exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Hands are this direct connection and expression of that mind-body connection. And even on a deeper level, the connection to our heart center, our soul, and who we are inside. It's really special when we can get intentional about being mindful of our hands and the energy around our hands and wrists and fingers. Right, go ahead and just rub the hands together, feel a little warmth there. You can go ahead and just kind of massage around the wrists, fingers, space in between. All right, so moving into the elbow joints now. And we're going to inhale with our arms straight out in front, shoulder height, palms up. And exhale, we're going to reach back just to tap the top of our shoulders here. So it's an inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. You find that because of your job or vocation that your shoulders have started to round forward, let every single tap back just remind those shoulders. Again, I'll come over to the side here just to come back. So if you find that you're kind of always in here, let every single tap back just encourage you to keep your shoulder blades back together. Right. Next one, still warming up our shoulders. Shoulders are very mobile, so it's good to make sure they're nice and warm before we get into anything too technical or demanding. So we're going to inhale, keep your shoulders relaxed, elbows wide to the side. You can feel that openness across the chest. And as you exhale, you're just going to bring the elbows almost into touch, like right up at the base of the throat. So it's going to exhale here, and then inhale, open wide. And especially as we work across this heart line and this opening and closing kind of feeling, that, that range of motion, I want you to really be mindful of that connection between posture and emotion. Observe how you feel here. Observe how you want to feel here. One last time, exhale and squeeze, elbows together. Inhale, open up and release. Just rest the hands down a moment. Observe all those shifts, each one cumulative, each one adding on from the previous one. Feel all those shifts that have taken place in our practice so far in this joint breathing series. All right, moving now into the rotator cuff and more specific actions in the shoulders. Fingers point down, exhale. Inhale, back up to that Joshua tree or cactus arm shape or goddess pose arm. Exhaling, fingers point down. And inhale, palms face in, fingers reach up. So you can slow it down for these last three here. One more time. Inhale, hands reach up and overhead. Exhale, press the palms away, energetically grounding back down. All right. So for our last couple of practices here, we're going to start opening up the side body. One last thing for the shoulders and lats and side body, and then we'll get into some mobility movements for the neck, right? Okay. So here, I'm gonna just bring my left hand down to the floor beside me on my fingertips, because of the way I'm sitting. If I was up in a chair, I could grab a hold of the seat of that chair, or even down to one of the points between the legs. Fingers on the floor, or a block would be great if you have a block close by. All right, something to just really kind of keep you grounded here. So this shoulder, this whole side of the body is gonna try and stay anchored right here. The other side, I'm gonna inhale up, and then I'm just gonna begin to lengthen this right side as I reach over and across. Up underneath of right arm. If you want to and it's comfortable, you can start to walk that left hand out and deepen that crease, reaching over. You can find some circular movements. Remember, we talked about this in previous weeks. Our hand leads the movements. The arm follows the hand and the shoulder allows. Really become aware of your hand, your palm, your fingertips leading the movement. Furthest point down the arm, which is leader, and then arm follows. Shoulder stabilizes and allows. Feel free to explore some variations or creative expressions of this movement, this lengthening. And when you're ready, just go ahead and come back up and observe that stark difference between right and left side. The right side just stretched pretty thoroughly. The left side has been supportive, but now we need to lengthen that left side. I'm just gonna bring my block or prop to the other side, something I can keep my right hand connected to. And then when I'm ready, I'm gonna just start to reach this left hand up, lengthening this left side body. Eye gaze can look up or down. If it's comfortable, you can start to walk that right hand out to deepen that crease, if that's appropriate for you. You want to move into some circular shoulder circles, or just sort of figure eight movements, or anything that's just creatively expressed that feels like it stretches and opens and lengthens this side. Please always listen to that creative spark, that intuitive wisdom in your body. As we become more present and aware, we can pick up on those cues from our body, listen to what it's trying to tell us or what it means. And when you're ready, just slowly come back up. Inhale, pick up both shoulders. Exhale, set the shoulders back and down, palms face up. We're engaged, still sitting up tall. Check in with your posture. Check in with your breath. Check in with your perceived emotion or state of mind. More time, inhale, shrug the shoulders up. Exhale, slowly pull the shoulder blades back together and drop them down. Good. Inhale, chin tilts up. Exhale, chin tucks in. And chin lifts up. Exhale, chin tucks in. Continue. Bring the head and neck back to center. Just slowly start to angle the head and neck side to side. Dropping left ear to left shoulder. And then right ear to right shoulder. Continue to explore that twisting movement through the head and neck. Consciously, slowly, with purpose, moving the head and neck. When you're satisfied with the movements of the neck, come back to center. Go ahead and bring your hands, your fingertips, or palms, or wrists just up right behind, like where the base of the skull meets the spine. As you inhale and lengthen and allow your posture to really fully embody whatever it is that you want to embody. Whether that's that just deep presence or deep relaxation or state of gratitude or peace or joy. See if you can almost just give yourself a little boost here with the hands, kind of just lengthening the spine, just giving yourself an energetic and physical pick-me-up per se. By just providing some gentle pressure underneath the base of the head, lengthening the spine. Any other little adjustments, or just make those visceral touches to points on the neck that need some loving. All right, and release the hands down. So we'll close our joint freeing series with a spinal twist. So I'm just going to inhale, hands up the level of the shoulders. I'm going to exhale, twist to the right first. I'm going to twist from the belly button up. So I'm really twisting through the torso first, twisting across the lower belly, through the mid belly, along that heart line through the chest, and then down through the fingertips, and finally through the head and neck and the eye gates. Your exhalation, look back to center with the head and neck first, and then slowly bring the torso back to face forward. Same thing, other side. Completing our joint freeing series with this twist. Inhaling, hands up. Exhale, just use the strength and mobility of the core to twist over to the opposite side. Hands come down just to mark your spot. And completing that stretch through the head and neck and eye gates. Inhale, release, come back to center. Very good. So before we come up to standing for just a brief standing series, just to kind of get up from the ground for a moment, I want you just to observe again that relationship between mind and body, between posture and emotion. Working with both to harmonize and fully express who you are, who you want to be. Very good. Let's go ahead and come up to standing and bring your yoga strap with you. Take your time all the way up to a standing position. Just take a few steps, kind of loosen up the feet, ankles, and knees, and hips. Then go ahead and take that yoga strap or scarf or whatever prop you're using instead, and go ahead and bring your hands up and overhead, just about almost like your hands are starting to come around behind, and just pause there. And feel that big stretch up underneath your lats and where the chest connects into the shoulder and arm, and just feel that as like a gentle pulse. Again, just like at the beginning of class, see if you can find that balance between ease and effort, and see if that's helped at all by the use of your prop strap. And if you want, you can just roll the hands all the way around behind. Really feel that big opening, that big lift through the chest as you drive the knuckles down, thumbs face forward. Feel the length of the spine as you stand tall in mountain pose. I'll just take a moment to shift the weight forward and back in the feet. With your feet firmly planted and the weight evenly distributed amongst fronts and back of feet. Drive the heels especially down, little bend in the knees, slowly start to fold forward. And I'm just going to leave this strap on my lower back for now. And I can even just kind of use that to rest the hands on, or the hands can come down to the floor. Gonna inhale up halfway, pressing the heels down, and just the weight of the arms on the strap really helps to accentuate this turning of the tailbone out. So just like in cow pose, I don't know how this translates through video, but we can really start to lengthen the hamstrings and start to work out some stuff in the lower back here. And then when I'm ready, I'm going to come back down, chin tucks in, shake out the head and neck. And then come up halfway one more time here. Back is flat, parallel with the floor. Heels pressed down, really finding that length through the hamstrings. Whenever you're ready, you can slowly melt the torso, arms, and hands back. Inhale, come all the way back to standing. Stand up tall. If you want to, you can bring your hands back up and overhead, and then lower the hands back down. Good. All right. So we're going to move into a triangle pose as our peak standing pose. I think triangle pose might be one of my favorite postures. It feels like it just really opens everything up for me. And in my own personal practice where I might experience some tightness or pain in my hips and lower back, this is a really awesome hip stretch, which also helps me just to kind of keep things moving. So I know we're familiar with triangle pose. I'll just quickly guide us through it so we can have more time in the posture. Starting with by lining up my feet, I'm going to start with my right foot forward, okay, left foot back, and my right heel is going to line up with my left heel or somewhere on the inside step of that left foot, okay? I'm going to try and keep my hips facing forward, and I also want to try and keep this right knee favoring the outside edge of the right foot, all right? Even better, just directly over the ankle. What I want to avoid to protect the knee joint is I want to avoid this knee collapsing in. So I'm just gonna very energetically and physically keep that leg engaged, keep my knee to the outside edge of my front foot. All right, so now my foundation is set. Hips forward, feet in alignment, concerns with the knee addressed. Hands are going to come to hips, and I'm just going to slowly start to shift the weight forward, almost coming more into like a warrior two stance, knee over top of ankle, and then I'm going to straighten. But I'm not just going to straighten, I'm also going to press my left glute back, and I'm going to feel that big stretch through like the inside edge, through the thigh and the groin, and then I'm going to shift back again. So I'm just surfing back and forth from here, warrior two stance, to here, triangle stance, just in the legs and lower body. All right, and again, I'm going to shift, inhale, exhale. One more time, and then we'll shift into triangle pose. Exhale. So I want you to recall earlier in class when we lengthened the side body. All right, so that's going to come into play here. So as you come into triangle pose, you're going to lengthen the left side body by reaching this left hand up. All right, you might think you're going to use your right hand to kind of prop yourself up here, but we're actually using the strength of the core to lengthen the torso and hold it in place. And then we're going to reach this left hand up. So it's like this big cosmic opening through the body, really opening wide. Your triangle pose. Inhale, slowly come back up. Bring a deep bend in that front leg. And exhale, just ground down through your feet now. Little counter stretch. We'll take a reverse warrior. You can keep your left hand on the hip and just stretch the right hand up and lean back. Good. The switch from here is rather simple. I'm just going to start by both feet face forward. So I just shifted my right foot in. I'm going to shift my left foot out. And then I'm going to readdress the alignment. Heel to heel or heel to instep. Knee not collapsing in. Staying in alignment right over the ankle. All right. Hips feel aligned. I'm going to widen my stance just an inch or two. Okay. Now I'm going to start by just surfing into my feet, really settling into the footwork, the foundation of both these poses, warrior two and triangle. Shifting back. And as we shift back, we really want to try and keep this open and not angle down. So this all really stays open in here through the hips. Forward. That a few more times before you transition into triangle. I'd also like to have a block or prop or even a chair, something you can rest that left hand on just to keep the hand connected to something. We are dominantly using the core energy here to keep us upright, so we're not collapsing again, maintaining that very much alive and aware, conscious posture. Besides a little difference, you might find more or less depth, depending on the side you're working. Ready? Slowly come back up. Bring a deep bend in that front leg, hands on hips. Settle down into the feet and take a brief counter stretch with a reverse warrior. All right, both feet face forward. Step the feet together, hands on hips. Just drop the hips side to side. If you want to make a few hip circles, that's fine. Just feel that balance and all that spaciousness in the side body. And feel how that's influenced your posture. In turn, influenced your mood, your current manifesting state. We're going to come back down to rest on our backs now. If you're not already there, if you'd rather close your practice in a seated position, we're just going to take a couple of minutes for the closing of our practice. So take your time, whether that's to set back up your meditation cushion or seat, or if you'd rather close class lying down on your back, it's a great option as well. Even if you do decide to come into that horizontal shavasana position, Observe how even there you can make these postural shifts to really embody a state of openness and of deep relaxation. You can do this by just gently picking up the feet and lengthening the legs, creating that little extra space in the back. Or even as you lay your arms by the side, you can just pick the elbows up and scooch them out another inch or two and let that air flow up underneath the arms. You could pick the shoulders up and settle them into place to really maintain an open heart. You can just very subtly shift the head and neck until it rests comfortably, balanced and centered. Bring these moments to rest, stillness, gratitude. Stand firm in your resolution to retrain body and mind. Take your health and well-being, happiness back into your own hands, reclaiming the connection to your own heart, reclaiming and deciding that you want to be able to change your mood, state of mind with your posture, with these tools we practice here today, and vice versa. With your mind, help to retrain and liberate the body. Samasta Sukhino Bhavatu. May the light of truth overcome all darkness, and may victory be unto that light. May all beings full of peace and joy and love and light. Victory to them. Thank you all so much for joining us in tonight's practice. Take your time if you want to extend your deep relaxation now. You can simply disregard this closing and continue to rest and relax as long as you wish. Thank you again for sharing your time and practice with me. Hari Om, Om Shanti.